Welcome. So glad that all of you could be here today. It's wonderful. I want to say thank you for traveling. And I want to also welcome the folks who are joining via the live stream. They'll be able to see this, and we hope to be able to make it possible for them to participate as well when we get to those times for discussion and questions and answers. And just by the way, we've tried to organize things so that there's time for that. The room's cordial enough. We do have microphones when it comes time for that sort of back and forth. Even though many of us have big voices and can be heard, it still would be nice to use the microphone simply because of the virtual audience that's out there. The facilities, out the door, and then choose right or left, depending on which you are. And for the live streamers, you actually know where your facilities are, so you're good. We've had some requests to be reminded about what the hashtag for the conference is. It's up there, # hashtag Oglethorpe Live Rebound. If that's too hard, the back of your badge works as well for those of us who can see it at that close-up range. And that's also where the wireless access code is. For the live streamers, you already know what your wireless access code is. I'm very pleased. Just one last thing about the Wi-Fi. Remember, it's all caps. I sat at a table with a few folks who had worked themselves into levels of unnecessary frustration. So I think we'll all be connected, and we'll be together for the next day and a half. I'm delighted that all of you traveled. So the conference is Libraries Rebound, and I think it's about rebound because libraries over the past while have in fact internalized, I think, the enormous challenge that we have to the future. The grounds shifted for a while. I think we may not have recognized the extent to which that shift was permanent, profound, and in fact a foundational challenge to the value proposition of libraries. The network's reconfigured all sorts of industries, and we recognize that it's reconfiguring ours. It's reconfiguring the cultural landscape in which we work, the higher education landscape in which we work. It's being reconfigured by the enormous uptake in consumer technologies, the way in which expectations have been set by those technologies, the way in which expectations have been set by the giant informational hubs that have such a gravitational pull in the web environment, making it the place where people do their work, the place where information is found, created, shared, etc. So new expectations have been created, and libraries, I'm pleased to say, I think are in the mode now of responding, reacting, and I hope rallying to create a different kind of future, a different set of values associated with what we can offer and what we support in our communities. OCLC Research has been investing its effort along with you in the partnership and the libraries that we work with in the broader enterprise around really two grand aspirations. One is acknowledging that the library value proposition needs to be renovated, needs to be reestablished, and it needs to be established around future library services. So we've tried to invest effort in ways that help create the environment in which those new services can emerge, can get established, and there can be convergence of and reconfiguration of our own library system. The corollary of that, of course, is to invest some effort in transforming those kinds of current practices and operating processes that we support, so that they're lots more efficient, lots less expensive, and we have both resources and mind share to devote to the creation of that new portfolio of library services. And I'd submit, for those of you who haven't had a chance to take a look at it, there was a very nice set of presentations at the last Association of Research Libraries meeting, which you can find. The slides are now up. And it was about transforming 21st century research library collections. And as a contextual presentation, Wendy Lugier from the University of Minnesota gave a very nice short presentation about the way in which this reconfiguration was happening. And she suggested that there's really a new rubric emerging that's going to define new library services, the future library services, in a balance between the local and the global, the supra-institutional. So on one side of the equation, she was suggesting, that's what's emerging is a variety of supra-institutional structures that we can count on and take advantage of, so that we don't all need to reproduce them within our own institutions. And on the other side, that gives us an opportunity to take that side of the equation and optimize it around local priorities, around local infrastructure, and around unique institutional assets. So what we've done in this conference is to actually focus on those three things in a way that I think will advance all of our thinking around what can be optimized to create that local portfolio of distinctive services. So if you think about local priorities, the research support mission for many of the institutions within which we work is paramount. And so how does the library get connected to that in a way that its impact is felt, it's real, and it's valued? Local infrastructure, the library is the keeper and holder of some extraordinary space on our campuses, within our institutions, and the ways in which we use that local infrastructure, to advance the community we work with, and to create the kind of value delivery that the library needs to have in the future is again another important local asset that we can optimize. And finally, if you think about unique institutional assets, I mean, the library has a range of those, but one of them that has emerged in the recent past and I think highlighted in a different kind of way is our special collections and unique materials, and how those get leveraged in a way that creates that local distinctiveness, matches up with the research mission, and advances the teaching mandate of the institution is again important. So if you take these local priorities, local infrastructure, unique institutional assets, and combine them, I mean, what we're in the midst of is the creation of a new portfolio of distinctive services, and that portfolio of distinctive services is going to represent the future of libraries, both within the academy as well as within the broader cultural landscape. And we're going to devote time to each of those areas. We're real pleased to have a set of distinguished speakers. We have a variety of people who have local experience who will serve on as reactors to those presentations, and then we have all of you together to have a conversation, and we're going to make sure that there's time for that kind of interaction. So I'm real pleased to get this started with my colleague Scott Walter, who I'm very pleased was willing to open the event. He did that graciously without as much notice as I would have liked to have offered him, and he did it in the midst of relocating from his previous position to his new spot as director of the libraries at DePaul University. So I'm really pleased that Scott was willing to do it, and he's given a lot of thought to this notion of distinctive services. And I hope by sharing that with us today, he'll give us a framework in which we can talk about both research support, buildings and space, and special collections.